Anderson, his most improved player and enormous contract in a sign and
Bryant. If he can stay healthy, he's a shooter. He can get it done well.
Oh, Maestro, he is so good in an orchestra.
Lawson kicks to Anderson, to the middle. It's stolen by Bogut. Rondo with it. He had 10 points in the win against Brooklyn.
And equally as impressive, the playmaking. Just sensational. The way he was seeing the court and making the game easy for his teammates.
One thing to say about Rajon Rondo's career, he's come up big in the biggest of games, had 6 steals in the closeout game that gave Boston its 17th championship. Remember that back in 2008 for Coach Doc Rivers?
I really do. And after that Boston win in the series against the Lakers, Phil Jackson called Rondo the star of Game 6. Everyone had always talked about the big three in Boston. That year, it was the big four.
And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Celtics.
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught him off guard. Playing airtight defense and coming up with the steal.
And also defensively, they've been able to cause some turnovers tonight. And that also builds confidence and gives you momentum.
6 on the shot clock. Anderson, a screen on Williams. Offensive rebound.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
Duncan kicks to Bellinelli. That doesn't go on the chance to tie.
And, you know, guys, on the topic of Rondo, you look at his playoff career now. I mean, in 2009, he averaged nearly a triple-double in the postseason. I mean, this guy has great instincts, but he has to have the ball to orchestrate the way he's most effective.
And the shot is good.
And that's what you want to see. Good, fundamental, sound basketball with the bounce pass.
Outside Williams. It's Young on the wing. Celtics passing it around. Bellinelli with the 3, and the shot is good.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
He picked up 27 points in their last win against the Cavaliers in Cleveland.
Yeah, but he was the ultimate two-way player. Defensively, also doing a great job. Couple blocks in that game as well.
And there's the foul. It goes on Ryan Anderson. That's his first foul. Outside Williams. And they're unable to get the tying basket there. And so both teams trading buckets as we end the first quarter. Hawks lead by 2. 2K Sports back in a moment here at Phillips Arena in Atlanta. And Kobe Bryant dealing with the wear and tear of decades in the league. He talks about how he remains effective.
Well, you have to make adjustments. You know, you try to figure out what you can and can't do, and you have to try to learn that pretty quickly and figure out how effective you can be. And so it's just about making adjustments.
Well, at Kobe's age and with the 2 years
Fuck
worth
that,
of injuries,
Kobe. You get no rest.
Just a matter of great adjustments.
You just played through an injury for 14 wins. You're finna play till you die.
Expectation, including his own.
No retirement.
You know what? When it comes to Kobe Bryant, history has shown that the normal rules just don't apply. I think it's the rest of the league that's going to have to adjust to a well-rested and still very lethal Black Mamba.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for Atlanta.
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
Another big aspect of their game tonight has been the fast break, transition opportunities. They're really keeping it up-tempo so far.
On the court for the Celtics, second quarter underway. Bogut out there with Pierce. Then there's Nick Young. Then it's Williams. And it's Matthews in at the shooting guard position. Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Richardson, he's checked in for Young. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for
Bro, you got
Williams.
to do a better
And
job
he gets the
playing
bucket.
defense than that.
You know, one of the things, guys, that
Damn.
impressed me about the Celtics
Can't control
was
all
the
five,
number of
boy.
assists they had. I mean, they really focused on moving the ball. And when you do that and you have shot makers, the assists pile up.
Good pass.
Now here's Lawson.
Good shot.
No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change.
Really crisp, intelligent passing to make that basket possible.
Here's Rondo. Pierce with a wide open look.
God.
And it's good coming
Damn.
on the assist by Rajon Rondo.
They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but also the body movement off the ball that's created a lot of those opportunities.
That is good.
Good ball movement. He put that pass in the ideal spot, right where it needed to be.
He kicks to Richardson. Screen by Bogut. Feeds to Pierce. Bogut sets a screen for Pierce. It's rebounded by Leonard.
Major defensive lapse right there. I mean, he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. They're lucky
Damn.
he couldn't punish them for it.
And it's Rajon Rondo with the foul. That's his first foul.
And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
Greg, those are always tough to judge, but I think the official got that one right.
Looking at who's out there now for the Hawks. Abdul-Rahman, who's checked in for Leonard. Anderson comes in for Mirotic. Damari Carroll's checked in for Joe Ingles. And it's Adams in for Thompson. Adams' shot is off.
And even though he missed that, you have to take those shots when you get the opportunity.
Exactly. They don't come much better or easier than that.
Now here's Rondo. He's had some playing time,
Come
but
on.
no scoring yet from him.
Boy, guys, they've shown some great passing on their last few trips down the floor. Excellent.
4 straight passes leading to scores. Great team play.
In the corner, it's Freak. Out of bounds, Boston
Mother.
takes possession. Well, Paul Pierce hinted that he could hang him up soon. He had that amazing run. Has nothing left to prove in the NBA. And I would say, of all the players in last year's playoffs, had some of the most dramatic individual shots we have seen from one guy in a long time.
He did, and you forget he's done that really over the course of his entire career. Just kind of funny to see him doing it in a Wizards jersey. No doubt about it. So many big moments over the course of his career. And also, for all the kids out there, the best maybe footwork we have in our game, if you want to improve as a player, watch Paul Pierce's footwork.
Out of bounds, Atlanta will take possession. And while we can now, let's check in on the top scoring rookies in the NBA. You look at Freak, leading the league in points per game. Such a great player.
And there's always firepower in every rookie class, but even among the top guns, he's the best of the best. He'll be an offensive force for years to come.
Yeah, he's an old head, mature beyond his years. He has a dominant offensive mindset. No matter what the defense throws at him, he lights up the scoreboard. Really a special talent. Well, the competitive nature was on display early in the career of Pierce. I mean, he has willed his teams to win his entire career and is baffled by anybody who doesn't want to win as bad as he does.
Now here's Rondo. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game.
Just no resistance inside at all. They are feasting. This is a straight buffet.
It is. It's a big one. And load the plate.
Yeah, exactly. It sure is. Plenty of second opportunities. 8 of their last 10 points from the paint, but the defense still continues to back away and not show any aggressiveness.
And that competitive nature that you talked about with Pierce, that's really what sets him apart. He had so many great clutch moments in the postseason. Easily one of the most clutch players in recent memory.
Well, you know, last season I thought the Celtics made some strong waves in the East. I mean, they kept fighting and fighting all season long, and they ended up in the playoffs because of that never-give-up attitude.
The Celtics making a switch here. Duncan's checked in. Atlanta calls timeout. And for the Celtics, 28 of their 40 wins on the season came against the East. Not impressive, but it got the job done in a conference which could be had at times, obviously.
That's true, but what should be noted, Kevin, about the Celtics against the East is just how well they played against the Eastern Conference playoff teams.
Right.
I mean, against the East top 8, they shot a lot better and executed a lot better as well. So you can see them stepping up their game against the competition.
Matthews with the steal.
That was a horrible fucking pass. And a frustration foul.
Rondo against Lawson. Right side, Rondo. Duncan with the screen for Matthews to the right side. The shot will not go. And it's the Hawks taking it the other way. They've led by as many as 11 points. Carroll with it. He's picked up by Rondo. To the paint. Adams' shot is good. Adams has got his first points of the night.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync. Tremendous communication and awareness.
Here's Matthews. Almost, but it rolls out.
And that was a difficult shot from mid-range simply because the defense was engaged.
Yeah, and I think the quickness of the closeout really threw him off.
Now here's Adams out to the wing. Carroll in Atlanta again with the bucket. Well, it was the Boston Celtics winning their last game against the Brooklyn Nets.
And really an emphatic win for them, especially considering that it came in an opponent's building, and there's no question it was their offense that carried them.
I love the way they went and got this game, Greg. I mean, they attacked at every opportunity, never relaxed or sat back, and as a result, they eventually pulled away.
And here's Lawson following the three from Wesley Matthews. And Adams kicks the three. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
Solid on the one-hand throw down there.
You know, Clark, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, and one reason why, I just don't know that I've ever seen him miss a play like that.
Now, here's Bogut. And looking at his production, he averages a little more than 7 points a game. 5 to shoot. And here's Matthews from the arc. And it's Matthews again missing.
And with the time left, they still can go 2 for 1.
Boy, they've got to do it fast. They must hurry from here. Phenomenal alley-oop slam right there, guys.
They're taking advantage, Clark, of a team that looks lost out there.
Guys, this one is threatening to get really ugly.
Here's Rondo. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. Screened by Duncan. Rondo kicks to Duncan. And it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get that no matter how hard you tried.
The Hawks leading by 4. And Lawson, here we go.
Good take.
And
Good take.
He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
You know, huge height advantage there. But because
6 dimes, and that's how you get your first 2 points?
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're
that's
giving
what I
up
pay you for.
a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air.
That's good from Ty Lawson.
Yeah, nice job of drawing the contact and creating opportunities at the line.
My kind of hoops. Straight ahead, playing downhill, and physical.
Williams against Lawson. And stolen by Lawson. Oh, and he's going up for the
Mamba.
here.
Well, that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, nice job there, Greg. Recognizing the opportunity was there to push it, and then excellent execution.
We've reached the end of the first half of play. Outside time, up by 9. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, Jason, I saw you briefly talking to Coach. What did he say was the objective from here on out?
Just going there, being aggressive, try to get the lead. We got to understand that they're going to go through the passing lanes. We got to be better with the ball.
Valuing the basketball always so crucial, Jason. Thanks
Jay
for the time,
Rich.
guys.
Thanks so much, Doris, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back in there for the start of the third quarter after this break.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny, the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be looking back at the game's first half. A competitive matchup for Atlanta in the first quarter. At the end of the period, they held a 2-point lead.
It's 4:15.
They showed their superiority in the second quarter and got well out in front, taking a 9-point lead into the locker room at the half. And Shaq, what are your thoughts on how Atlanta played?
Well, they really dictated the pace of the game with their transition game. They got out on the break every chance they had, and the time they could.
And that'll wrap up our halftime show. The third quarter set to go moments from now. We will be right back here after the game.
Now the third quarter about to get going. You have to like what you're seeing from Damari Carroll.
And his play in that first half, how about the discipline to go along with the efficiency, guys? His shot selection was just perfect.
I agree. I mean, whether it's been from mid-range or in tight, he is taking only what the defense is giving him and not trying to do too much. Very much playing within himself.
We've got Abdul-Rahman. Damari Carroll is out there with Anderson. And there's Bryant, and it's Lawson in at the point guard. They're the group for Mike Budenholzer starting the second half. Kobe with it. Now Pierce defending. The baseline J.
Oh, come on now.
Kobe, no good. And for Kobe Bryant, how difficult was last season? Starting out strong, even though the team, Greg, around him wasn't very good. But then everything, including Bryant, fell to pieces.
And when you're a competitor, the way this guy is a competitor, you can't stand to lose. So you push your body to the limit to avoid that. But what happens at age 36 when you've got the kind of miles that Kobe Bryant has, you know, you just can't go it alone. That's why Kobe lasted only 35 games.
Celtics trail by 7. Outside Rondo, tipped away. Oh, and here it comes Carroll all alone. Hammers it home to polish off the break.
And unfortunately, we've seen a few too many of those. A lack of concentration and alertness, a turnover, and an easy bucket the other way in transition.
And really a few more of those, and this game could be over.
And something not a lot of people talk about, Ty Lawson's defense. He has the lateral quickness, Clark, and strong lower body that gives, you know, point guards fits.
Yeah, he's like a fire hydrant in terms of his build and strength. He's a good ball defender, but he gambles sometimes, so that can cut both ways. He'll get steals, but he'll also put you in tough positions defensively.
And here's the fast break. Bryant leading the way.
And that steal paid instant dividends.
No wasted time or motion getting out on that fast break.
And we're just about a minute and a half into the third quarter of basketball. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Thank you, Kevin. Brad Stevens had some words for his team over the break. He told his guys, be patient at the offensive end. Whatever we do, we cannot waste possessions with bad shot selection. Coach was not wasting any time in altering their strategy here in the second half. Kevin, he's going to have to hope those changes take effect quickly.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. Payne, he's checked in for the Hawks. Atlanta leading by 9.
And talking about Lawson's defense, he was down in steals last season. But a part of that is because he stopped gambling as much. He's learned where to pick his spots.
And the rebound goes to Duncan.
Oh, excellent interior D to force the miss.
His defensive ability is a big factor. I mean, there's no denying that.
The Hawks have gone 2 of 5 shooting here in the third quarter. That bucket in no time at all. That's 7 points for Kobe Bryant.
Getting back to Ty Lawson, he's under 6 feet without shoes, relatively short wingspan as well, yet he's always had to deal with size limitations on defense, but he uses phenomenal anticipation and speed to win more.
Oh man, you gotta play D-Rock, man.
And their solid play in the paint continues, guys.
And that's been their focus, it seems, throughout the game. I like the discipline that they've showed in terms of creating those opportunities on the inside.
Kobe kicks to Payne. Just 5 on the clock. And the shot is long.
Well, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
Nah, I knew he wouldn't.
The drive by Rondo. No good with the elbow jumper.
Yeah, good tough D there to get a hand up and force that miss.
That's example number 1 of why he is such a strong defensive player and why he has such a great defensive reputation.
The shot by Pierce will not go. Atlanta leading by 10. And And Anderson slams it in.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
Yeah, and when he's got a lead like that, why not take a few chances? A lot more engaging and entertaining than just doing the old ho-hum one-hander.
And Freak throws it down.
I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen throughout. Just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively turning into quick points.
And that can't continue. I mean, if they hope to get back in this game, I mean, it's really deflating from a morale standpoint. They need stops and points, not turnovers. Good little two-man action there, but they just can't get the shot to fall.
Yeah, but that was a beauty. Good-looking shot, well-executed play. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to it. And now we can see them really working it inside.
Yeah, Clark, quality looks at the rim. That's fueling this run.
Screen by Bogut. Rondo. It's Pierce on the wing. Carroll covering. Fades.
Give me that.
Shoots. That's
God,
good.
to be more careful.
6 points for Paul Pierce.
And guys, we've seen teams hire college coaches with no NBA experience before. It hasn't always worked out, but for Boston, they have to be very pleased with Brad Stevens. No clue how he got that one to fall.
And that was not a soft foul he had to get through, Greg. I mean, he had to really power that one up and in.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Spencer Hawes is checked in for Abdul-Rahman. Leonard comes in for Anderson. Mirotic is checked in for Damari Carroll. And it's Joe Ingles in for Bryant. Payne kicks to Mirotic. Hawes inside, defended by Koufos. And Brad Stevens now in his 3rd year coaching the Celtics. Greg, I know you admire him from afar. Good fit for the franchise. Good fit, Clark, for a young team.
I agree with you completely on all of that. He stresses team unity and selflessness and sets the example and tone with his demeanor.
Yeah, you're going back to the bench, buddy.
And guys, Spencer Hawes signed a 4-year, $23 million contract with the Clippers prior to last season. Not sure. Clippers felt like they got their money.
Glad I'm not paying that contract.
In the playoffs, there still may be some hope for him in LA.
Well, I'd have to agree with you, Kevin. I mean, he had some moments, but on the season shot a career low from the foul line as well as in several other areas.
Shit.
And getting back to
he just missed
Hawes,
2 for me.
He actually stayed pretty healthy last season. He had obviously one of the best point guards in the NBA feeding him the basketball, but for some reason Hawes couldn't hit even 40% of his shots.
Lawson drives in. No good. And it's Boston the other way. Guys, there's still time for them to make a run.
But the margin of error is history.
Can't have any wasted possessions down the stretch.
Like that one.
There's 38 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Mirotic gets the bucket.
Well, you look at Hall's big contract deal last season. Let's be fair about it. I mean, that happened after he posted some of his best ever career averages the year before. That's why if you're a front office type, you wish you had a crystal ball.
Here's Bellinelli. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game. And Mirotic kicks to Hawes. Here's Ingles. Rebound Boston. Their last encounter was in Boston.
And their last time against this club, they really fell short at the free throw line.
Yeah, and that was the difference, really. I mean, you think about it, they didn't knock them down at the same rate, and that hurt them.
And here at the end of the 3rd quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Hawks lead by 11. We're going to step aside for just a second, but join us right back here for the start of the 4th quarter. Next. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the 4th. The Hawks leading by 11, and a look at the 5 for the Celtics to start the 4th quarter. We've got Nick Young, Koufos out there with Pierce. Then there's Mo Williams, and it's Bellinelli in at the 2 spot. And Freak.
Get off of him.
Taking it to the rack with power right there.
And hammering down with the 2-handed slam.
Just piling on the lead with the dunk like that.
with a step back, and he didn't get quite enough under that one.
And good defense there to play up and get a hand in the face.
Well, he's got a tough mindset. He's confident as a defender. And when you combine those two things, it makes it real hard to score on him.
Williams against Lawson. They set the pick. The
good
timely
take.
screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way. 6 points for Mo Williams. Atlanta's gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc so far tonight. Thompson dishes to Freak. Puts up the baby hook, and the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a 3-point play.
He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of them.
Let's look at the energy stats, how the hustle game has been going for Atlanta.
I thought we might see the defense adjust at halftime to slow the break, but that has not been the case.
Something that's also benefited them tonight are the turnovers they've forced and the points that have come along with those forced turnovers.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Bogut comes in for Paul Pierce. And Wesley Matthews subbed in for Bellinelli.
And after his last game, really not surprised to see him as hot as he is here tonight.
Now a timeout called by Boston. You look back last year, and the Hawks were incredible at home last season. Not a bad way to help unveil that beautiful statue of Dominique Wilkins in front of the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, and so much went right for the Hawks. And adding that statue of me was the cherry on top. Very classy move from that organization.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Damari Carroll comes in for Caspi. And Kobe is subbed in for Hollis Thompson. Here's Bryant. No luck. Now the Celtics take it the other way.
And, you know, for the Hawks last season, they ended with a 35-6 record at home, and that was the best in the East and the second best in the NBA.
Williams' shot is off. Atlanta leading by 16. Carroll passes to Abdul-Rahman, and Bryant wide open. He shoots. Carroll kicks to Bryant. In the corner, it's Freak. That's in, coming off an assist from Bryant. 22 points for Freak.
Kobe doing a great job being a playmaker on that one.
And for the Hawks, it was a good year to get the city. No, take that. It was a great year to get the city talking about basketball again. And Atlanta hasn't always rallied behind this team, but boy, did they show up more than usual last season.
There's been a change in his game compared to what we saw in the first half. I mean, he's scoring with a lot of confidence now.
Williams with the ball.
Good pass.
Now guarded by Mirotic.
And we always talk about making your teammate better. That assist was right on target. And Costa Koufos, an excellent rotation center. I mean, he gets after it on the inside. He'll give you some rebounds, can block some shots. He's made himself into a factor.
And the Celtics making a change here. Rondo's checked in. Atlanta leading by 18. And stolen by Koufos. Matthews against Lawson. Right side Matthews. And it's good off the back of the rim and in. And Koufos not really a shooter, Clark. He does his damage around the rim.
Yeah, he really does. The former Buckeye is a great screen setter. He attacks the offensive glass, plays within himself, and knows his role, and he does it well.
Late. I didn't see it.
Kobe against Rondo. There's the pick. He feeds it to Young. And there's the foul. It'll go on Nikola Mirotic. That's his first foul. Duncan, he's checked in for Boston.
Personal foul. Substitution for the Celtics. Tim Duncan.
Well, if you're just tuning in, welcome. We've got about 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. Rondo dishes to Duncan. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Good.
Yes. Heads up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
Atlanta leading by 14. And Lawson, here we go. And Freak throws it down.
I tell you what, I don't know what he did in the locker room, but he needs to do a little bit more of it because he's on fire.
Rondo against Lawson. outside Rondo, poked loose and stolen by Lawson. For the finish. And Boston with the rebound. Matthews has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Young pass to Rondo. And Matthews kicks to Bogut. Power down with both hands.
Fellas, that two-hand monster slam was vicious.
I don't think there was anyone, and I mean anyone, that could have stopped him on that one.
I tell you what, I'm glad they didn't try, because somebody might have got their feelings hurt.
He lobs up the alley-oop pass, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Lawson.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
Ryan Anderson, who's checked in for Mirotic. Celtics also with a sub. Paul Pierce is checked in for Young. Here's Duncan. Boston again missing.
And that's a well-contested shot.
Well, we've seen him before. He does not allow you to just get easy baskets. He's always going to make you work for it.
Baseline J on the way. Rejected by Pierce. And so it looks like the Hawks will retain possession here. .103 left in the 4th quarter. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Kobe and the powerful one-handed slam.
And guys, what we saw here tonight is one side having everything going for them. Huge margin of victory for Atlanta.
Clark, they simply ran him off the court.
It was all about the transition game. Fast break points, the difference.
And so this will mark the 15th win of the year for them.
And continued dominance against this team, winning both of their matchups this season.
And, you know, against a conference opponent, Greg, who you're going to see 4 times total on the season, a 2-0 advantage is pretty healthy.
I mean, when you look at the stats, you'll see just how dominant a game this was for Freak. It was the kind of game for him that all scorers dream of, where the basket seemed as wide as a barrel.
Rajon Rondo, guys, really needs to operate in a system that's point guard centric. He needs the ball to be effective. Pushing it, driving, dishing. When he has to play off the ball, that's when trouble starts.
And the Hawks with a completely new group on the floor. And then for Boston, Kufis checked in for Bogut. Richardson comes in for Pierce. And it's Bellinelli in for Matthews. And he's good on the second. And for Rondo, he's almost a throwback at the point, fearlessly taking it to the hole, getting knocked down, and getting right back up to fight another round. The thing maybe against him right now is what kind of guy, influence, what is he like on a team, and how does he affect it?
That's a great point. And also nowadays in the NBA, there's more of a premium on shooting and spacing. So it's going to be up to Rondo to adjust to that new style. That's going to be the question. Can he make that transition?
Well said. Kufis dishes to Rondo. Outside, Bellinelli. And it's good, coming on the assist by Rajon Rondo. Pulls up. And the miss. And so it's the Hawks taking care of business in this one. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
Well, you know, it makes a big difference. I mean, you never felt like they had any doubt that they'd come out on top.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Kobe, tell us about the mindset of this team tonight and what you hope to accomplish.
Just come out and play well. Just play with a lot of energy, execute well, read the defense well, and make unnecessary cuts.
Talent and execution. Kobe, thank you so much. Guys, over to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, Clark Kellogg, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. And standing by for the post-game show, let's head over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
And hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Let us take a moment now to recognize our Jordan player of the game. He had just an outstanding fourth quarter performance. He really had the fire lit under him, and down the stretch, really having a huge impact on the outcome of this game. Let's go to Kenny. What'd you think about his performance?
He was dead on from the field tonight, guys. I'd call his performance economical because there was no wasted opportunities. He took advantage of every good look he got. I mean, everything he put up was going in.
The job he did down low was fantastic. That's right, fantastic. He had great understanding of the way the defense was set up in the paint. He had a ton of high percentage looks close to the bucket and converted every time. Nice game, real nice game.
And folks, that'll wrap it up for tonight. We hope you enjoyed the game. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. Have a good evening.
DJ Khaled.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson, and it is my pleasure to be with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. In this game, we'll see the Atlanta Hawks going up against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis. Well, for Minnesota, they've got an opportunity tonight to sweep the season series 2 wins to none. The coaching staff commented that they feel confident coming into this one. Last year, the Hawks were really the surprise story of the NBA. A lot of what they did came through teamwork. Shaq, do you think they're like the prime example of a team being greater than the sum of its parts?
Ernie, let me give you a Shaq fact about the Hawks. Nobody on the Hawks last season averaged over 17 points. They had 6 players averaging double digits. So with the Hawks, it was a complete team effort. Played very, very well.
Yeah, you could see how they really moved the basketball. That was the one thing I was so impressed with, and they demonstrated unselfish play at all times.
What do you know about unselfish play?
Nothing. He shot it every time.
Hey, listen, I was
and
a
I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. 94, 95, you made the record.
What do you know?
Threes
what
in the
do you know about unselfish play?
Nothing. They used to call me the black hole, Ernie, because once it came in, it never came out.
I used to be the gas station because I filled it up, baby. Filled it up.
Wow, that's awesome. Let's get down to Kevin Harlan as we approach tip-off.
That's good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting broadcast of the NBA on 2K Sports. Along with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. Last outing for Minnesota, the loss to Philadelphia. You know, guys, you hate to get embarrassed on your home court, but that's exactly what happened. It was a tough loss for them.
And talk about a team that just never seemed to get into a rhythm offensively. It was just an ugly game to watch.
Yeah, that's an understatement. I mean, they didn't appear to have any kind of cohesiveness in terms of game plan. And they never figured out how to attack the defense in that one.
So Atlanta will get the first possession. A look at Atlanta's opening lineup. Lawson out there with Kobe. Then it's Abdul-Rahman. Then there's Anderson. And it's Carroll in at the small forward position. What a season for Al Horford last year. Such a great display from him and his team as he led the Hawks to the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference.
And for all the team accomplishments the Hawks had, Horford was able to hit some of his own milestones as well. Had his first career triple-double last season.
And so it's the Hawks getting on the board first. Harris outside.
Oh, wow.
It's a beautiful jam.
Just so fast. I mean, it's like trying to stop a train when he's coming in for the slam.
And that last replay courtesy of Kia. Now here's Lawson. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game. About a minute played so far here in the first. Anderson against Horford. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. Horford's got his first 2 points. The Hawks have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. And here's Anderson for 3. Good.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Minnesota with the ball. Victory eluded them last time in Atlanta when they faced the Hawks.
Probably their poorest defensive effort all season long. I mean, at home, that kind of D is not going to cut it. Never mind when you're on the road.
Hey, I don't know, guys. This may be all speculation. Perhaps they had a bad flight into town the night before, and we all know a rough flight in can lead to turbulence on the court.
We'll go to Doris Burke, who moments ago spoke with head coach Flip Saunders. And Doris, what do you have to say?
When talking about who they'll be most concerned with on the other side, he laughed a little and asked, "You mean other than Kobe?" He said that it's an almost futile effort to try and slow Kobe because he can score in so many different ways, saying, really, all we can try and do is prevent him from getting into a rhythm and try to force him into tough shots. Guys?
Thanks, Doris. Here's Boozer following the bucket by the Hawks. And that one, no good to start him off on the night. Hawks were so dominant last year and were the first team to clinch their spot in the postseason.
Hawks also would wrap up the top seed in the East and were able to advance against the Nets in 6 games.
You know, in the second round, the Hawks had a bit of trouble once again with the Wizards. Were able to get by them despite going down 2-1 in that series. Seemed like they were out of gas against the Cavs in the next round.
Free throw, good, Anderson.
And really, with the Hawks in the postseason, they just ran out of help. I mean, the Korver injury, the Carroll injury were huge against the Cavs. And when you lose that much talent, you could see why they were swept out of that conference finals. Don't forget, they also lost Cephalosha prior to the playoffs.
And he drops in the layup off the glass. Anderson's got 6 points.
So far, so good for them at the offensive end here in the early going.
Yeah, a great field goal percentage to start, exactly what they were hoping for.
Picked by Horford. Now here's Moutier. Lawson defending. Moutier with the basket.
Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
Anderson can't get it to go.
Boy, from my angle, it looked like it was in the bottom of the net. Looked good from here.
Yeah, I'm about as shocked as you are, Clark.
Horford with the screen on Lawson. Moutier dishes to Horford. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Horford's got his second basket of the night. The Hawks leading. Lawson kicks to Anderson. Pass to Carroll. Here's the teardrop. And Bryant with the lay-in.
Uh-oh, a little showboating at the end of that one.
Timberwolves have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. Well, Special K, so many records for Kobe, but one he set last season was most misses all time from the floor.
You know, he passed the great Hondo, John Havlicek, for that title. I'm sure John doesn't mind having him pass him up for that
the
one.
Old Buckeye, you're
yeah,
right.
That's right, most misses. But you look at the players on that list of who's who of NBA stars.
Now, here's Moutier. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Philadelphia. Harris against Carroll. Here's Boozer. It's good. This game is all even.
The plan of attack is obvious. Get the ball inside and go strong to the rim.
And, Greg, you know, the defense has been very slow to adapt. I mean, that's 10 straight points now inside.
And he gets it to go.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
All right, target center, coming out of the court now are your Timberwolves dancers. Come on, give it up.
Let's bring up the 2K leaderboard to show you the teams leading the league in assists this season. The Hawks, #1.
The beauty of watching this team is seeing the ball move around the court. It doesn't stick. That's why they're at the top of that list.
Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. And Atlanta will go for a different look here. Leonard, he's checked in for Anderson. Iritic comes in for Damari Carroll. Jordan Adams, he's checked in for Bryant. And it's Payne in for Ty Lawson. Last season for the Timberwolves, it was a struggle most of the season. Young teams tend to do that, but they didn't have, unfortunately, Greg, much luck at home.
You know, they basically limped their way to a league-worst 9-32 record at home. Part of taking your lumps as a young team. Let's see how they respond this season.
Now, here is Iritic. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Out to the right wing. And Adams kicks to Iritic. Leonard, the pass to Payne. Clock at 4. There's a good screen. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in.
You know, not everything was bad for the Wolves at home. I mean, they did have several highlight reel plays and also found their way to the foul line a lot. Biggest free throw differential at home in the league last season.
Now here's Splitter. He's coming off a 10-point game against Philadelphia.
Yeah, but I like how he defended as well. You know, he got a couple blocks in that game and just an all-around great effort.
Warren kicks to Barnett. The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. Exum's shot is off.
And really the problem for the Wolves at home is the same problem they had all season. I mean, their defense was atrocious. Worst field goal percentage against at home in the entire league last season.
And it's Freak missing.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
Here's Exum. He feeds it to Bargnani. Puts up the baby hook. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
That's his first personal foul.
This is his first trip to the line tonight.
And take a look at what he's been able to do at the free throw line. 82% more than acceptable.
You know, there's been some improvement in his free throw shooting this year. His percentage has taken a little jump compared to last season.
Both shots good from the strike. Haynes. Both teams have it going here early and still close through the first quarter. It's Atlanta up by 3. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back. So far, we get the second quarter up and going. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Hawks.
We've seen a lot of their points coming off penetration in the first half.
The other thing they've had going for them tonight is their passing. I mean, doing a nice job. Plenty of their points early on coming off assists.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. On the court for Atlanta, we've got Lawson. Spencer Hawes out there with Anderson. Then there's Nikola Mirotic, and it's Ingles in at the 2. Moutier, no good.
And guys, you hear about how the Hawks are jokingly referred to as the Spurs of the East. It has to do with their coach, Mike Budenholzer, who's really brought that philosophy here to Atlanta.
Timberwolves trail by 5. Passes it to Exum. Down low, Horford. And that comes off the assist by Exum. And it's 6 points for Horford.
And bullseye with that assist. Nice delivery there in traffic.
Lawson kicks to Anderson. Hits the three-point bomb. Anderson's got the lead up to 6 now for Atlanta.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
And I love the mentality that they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing it. They're moving it side to side until they finally get the one they want.
Now here's Lawson following the miss by Al Horford. Lawson drives in, and he gets the bucket. Lawson's got his first basket.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there, and a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen.
Now here's Moutier. He puts up decent numbers on a nightly basis, averaging about 10 points a game. Harris misses.
You know, one of the basic fundamentals in basketball is the ability to box out. He's got that down pat.
Lawson outside. Lock at 6. And the lead now, double digits on that bucket. And now it's a 10-point Atlanta lead.
You know, huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air.
You know what? I think he had to call timeout right now just to get his guys to regroup because they were really ragged out there.
Yeah, they've got to get some things straightened out, and sometimes the best way to do that is with the timeout. They look to be overwhelmed right now.
take a look at the stats for Lawson. This last month, he has been a real positive for this team. First in assists, second in field goal percentage, and don't forget about his hounding, frenetic defensive play, third in the league in steals per game.
And I think we're talking about the ultimate competitor here. I mean, he maximizes every possession and just shreds defenses.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Boozer comes in for Splitter. And Gary Neal subbed in for Dante Exum. And there's the feed to Harris. The three-pointer is right on target. Harris has got 5 now.
And those are two teammates right there working in rhythm. One setting the screen and the other using it to get that separation.
And for Tobias Harris, a resurgence of sorts last season, Clark, especially from behind the arc, where he shot a career-high 36%.
You know, he'd only hit 25% from 3 the year before, Kevin. So, yeah, monster improvement in accuracy from long range.
And getting back to Harris, there's just so much to like about his game. He lives in the gym, has a tremendous feel for the game, and he knows how to maximize his production within those athletic limitations.
For Atlanta, they have shot just 1 free throw earlier, 1 for 1 in the game.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
And, guys, that's a pretty good improvement over last season.
And so he makes both from the line.
You know, the thing about Harris is he's a combo forward, extremely versatile. At 6'8", he struggles with size against the better power forward, and he lacks the athleticism of the better small forward. So to get the most out of him, you have to put him in the right matchups.
Here's Neal. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Picked by Horford. Shot off the screen. And, yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Now here's Thompson. Lawson kicks to Freak. That one falls, coming off Lawson's feet. Lawson's got assist number 5 here tonight.
Boy, and their offense scorching now. Red hot. They've really turned it on.
I just don't know if you can play any better offensively, making it look easy out there.
Here's Neal. 11 points last game. Pass to Moutier. And that one hits back iron.
I tell you what, the defense should send Christmas cards for that miss.
Lawson kicks to Freak. Down low. And the basket for the 4th time from the field. He's a healthy 4 for 6. Minnesota really had a rough year last season. A lot of people know that, obviously. A lot to do with their defense. They just, Greg, struggled in almost every defensive metric.
Yeah, and, you know, they struggled at times guarding the basketball, but ultimately I think the biggest issue for them was their inability to protect the rim. That's an area and a point of emphasis that has to improve for this young team.
Lawson outside. Now here's Freak. He's tightly guarded. Looking for Anderson. He gets it there. And it's sent back by Horford. Now here's Moutier. Carroll covering. And here's Moutier. Horford sets a screen for Moutier. Inside. And the dunk by Horford.
And he just leaves the D in the dust and explodes to the basket.
You're right. Clark, maybe a momentum changer right there, huh?
It could be, Kevin. I mean, a dunk like that can sometimes get an opponent reeling.
Here's Lawson. Oh, wait a second, guys. We've got a whistle, and it's on the defense. So a shooting foul on the dunk, so a chance to grab those 2 points coming up here at the line. And the Hawks will go for a different look here. Myers-Leonard, he's checked in for Anderson. Caspi comes in for Damari Carroll. Adams, he's checked in for Hollis Thompson. And it's Payne in for Ty Lawson. Looking at the last game for the Atlanta Hawks, it was a win against the Boston Celtics.
You know, they played well enough to win, but to be honest with you, I just felt like their opponent's defensive performance was shaky at best.
Yeah, I'd go along with that, Greg. I mean, the game wasn't handed to them, but they definitely didn't have to work as hard for it as they should have.
Here's Exum. But they get it back. That three off target had some space there after the little pump fake.
That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those boards.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum.
Here's Payne from beyond the arc and then some. Payne's got his second bucket tonight. And so we conclude the first half. Hawks lead by 15. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. I've got Kobe Bryant. And Kobe, tell us what's working for you guys defensively right now.
Oh, keeping them out of transition, really. I mean, that's really been the big key this half.
Kobe, we appreciate the time. Gentlemen, over to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. A competitive matchup for Atlanta in the first quarter. The biggest lead for them during the period was 6. They just exploded in the second quarter, grabbing the momentum and running with it. Basket after basket, and they played stingy defense. Now they've got a halftime lead that's going to be very difficult to erase. Kenny, what was your take on Atlanta?
They have run their offense straight out of a coach's textbook tonight. Both ball and player movement have been excellent. And the result of all that movement, almost all high-quality shots they're generating. It's pretty to watch. Very good fundamental basketball.
Shaq, what you think about Minnesota?
Well, they got more than a few problems to work out, but it all starts with their defense. I know the analytical people love to point out opponent's field goal percentage, and tonight has been a big problem. They haven't defended with any purpose. They need a whole lot more activity on defense.
And now, folks, it's just about time for the third quarter to begin. We will see you after the final buzzer.
Okay, fans, put your hands together.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters.
The defense keeps coming up short. Just no solution for Anderson. He has 11 points, and he's got 2 baskets from out in three-point land.
And I'm sure they'd like to get a few more of those out of him.
Timberwolves trail by 15. They've got Harris. Carlos Boozer out there with Horford. Then it's Moutier, and it's Neal in at the 2. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Now here's Horford. Kicks it to Boozer. The fadeaway. Rebound Atlanta.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
You know, for Carlos Boozer, last year was a bit peculiar. I mean, after being a key player for several playoff teams throughout his career, he landed on the Lakers where the playoffs were nowhere in sight. Tough environment for a veteran to succeed in.
Moutier with the ball. Lawson defending. Moutier dishes to Boozer. It's stolen by Carroll. And here we go. Fast break. Freak's got it. The shot by Kobe, no good.
You know, just a little too fancy on that play.
Well, you don't want to force any play, but particularly the alley-oop. You'd like to try that when it's wide open.
That's good. And getting back to Boozer, last year he was claimed off amnesty waivers by the Lakers. Now, Los Angeles paid $3.25 million of his salary, while the Bulls paid the remaining $13.5 million of his salary.
And getting away from the contract, you know, he actually had a decent year. Shot over 50% from the field. Strong rebounds per minute average. I mean, he's a professional. He went in and did his job.
Well, you got to put a body on your man when the shot goes up. That's just fundamental basketball. They're giving up way too many offensive rebounds.
And the Timberwolves call timeout. Timberwolves trail by 18. Right around a minute and a half played here in the third quarter. Here's Moutier. Anderson with the block. To the inside. Bryant in the post. 7 points in the game. Missed inside. Here's Neal. Lawson defending. And Kobe Bryant gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. The Hawks making a switch here. Mirotic is checked in. 2 minutes gone in this third quarter now. Now here's Moutier. Lawson defending. There's the bucket. Good.
Wow, I'm surprised he took that shot, but he has a huge size disadvantage in that matchup. But tremendous job to knock that one down.
And it's sent back by Horford. And now Minnesota on the fast break, and it's denied. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. And Freak throws it down.
A one-man show offensively, and that's almost always good news for his team.
Here's Moutier. 6 points for him.
The Hawks were fantastic last season. After the All-Star break, they did slip up a bit, struggled against teams over 500.
Now here's Boozer. They trail by 18. That's good. Lawson with it. Dishes it to Mirotic. That one falls, coming off Lawson's feet. Mirotic has got his first 2 points of the night. They lost the last 3 games of the regular season, Clark, and really just limped into the playoffs. Some of it might have just been fatigue.
Yeah, it could have been, and their play at the end of the season did leak into the playoffs, Kevin. I mean, you could see very quickly that they weren't the same team that looked so dominant during the regular season.
Here's Lawson after Carlos Boozer's score. Lawson the pass to Mirotic. Back to Lawson. The Hawks working the ball around. Here's Freak. And there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
And when the score is as lopsided as it is, and you can see they smell blood in the water, my man is going for the jugular.
Now here's Moutier. He puts up decent numbers on a nightly basis, averaging about 10 points a game. Horford attacking. Rebound Atlanta.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
And really, he's just done a great job of finding the open man every trip down.
Boy, it sure has seemed as though he's done it every time. It's been an awesome display of passing for him today.
So it's the Timberwolves now. After the basket by Atlanta. There's Neal with the 3, and he gets it to go. Neal's got 7. Well, perhaps one of the most intriguing draft picks of this past summer, Emmanuel Moutier, can be a game-changing player. Was going to play, Clark, as you recall, at SNU for Larry Brown.
He sure was, and went overseas instead, so we don't know a ton about him other than his reputation is sterling. Now we'll see if he can live up to it.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hawks.
And how about Moutier, guys? He has a very interesting upbringing. Born in the Congo, grew up in Texas, then spent last season in China. Already a very well-traveled young man for a player of his age.
And the Hawks will go for a different look here. Myers Leonard, he's checked in for Abdul-Rahman. Caspi comes in for Damari Carroll. Adams, he's checked in for Kobe. And it's Payne in for Ty Lawson. Now here's Payne. 5 points in the game. And Mirotic kicks to Leonard. And stolen by Splitter. Exum with a wide open look. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
And you know, with Moutier, you can't ignore what he does on the court. He has amazing size at the point guard spot, excellent vision, and is a natural playmaker for his squad.
Leonard against Splitter. Here's Adams. And Splitter pulls it down. Timberwolves trail by 14. Leonard with the steal. Off they go on a 3-on-1 break. Pulls up. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Mirotic has got 4 points now in the quarter. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Hawks.
Defensively, they played with a lot of energy, and the steals we've seen are a result of that aggressiveness.
Yeah, I think you also have to give them a lot of credit for how well they've risen up to meet shooters, to challenge shots in this game. A lot of blocked shots tonight.
Minnesota shooting their third and fourth free throw shots of the night.
Shooting for Minnesota.
And the first one drops. And the one thing Thiago Splitter gives you every year, Clark, is consistency. The numbers, the effort, the results, all very familiar every year.
Yeah, his game is really built on the intangibles. He hustles. He knows where he's supposed to be. He gets to the right spot at the right time, crashes the boards, takes charges. He does all the little stuff.
And for Thiago Splitter, he's been a relatively unsung player in his career, never getting his number called on offense, receiving little recognition from the media, but providing tough defense in the post. He shot over 55%, crashes the boards in the 20 minutes or so a game that he gets. So that's been good enough to really establish a productive career.
Timberwolves trail by 15. Exum dishes to Buttinger. Now, here's Warren. Not a lot of room. Buttinger, no luck. Adams, the pass to Caspi. Leonard, and he takes the feed.
That two-hand monster slam was vicious.
I don't think there was anyone, and I mean anyone, that could have stopped him on that one.
I tell you what, I'm glad they didn't try, because somebody might have got their feelings hurt.
And the release was before the buzzer, but it's off target.
Okay, fans, put your hands together.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. The Hawks leading by 17. Fourth quarter on the court for the Hawks. Ryan Anderson out there with Damari Carroll. Then it's Lawson. Then it's Abdul-Rahman. And it's Ingles in at the shooting guard position. Stolen by Exum. The dish to Neal. Tries to keep it alive. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Lawson. And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Boozer comes in for Bargnani. And Tobias Harris subbed in for Warren. And a change for the Hawks. Bryant is checked in for Joe Ingles. Carroll against Harris. And it's going to be a 3-second call.
In foolish play, he's got to be thinking out there.
Which he clearly wasn't on that play. Or maybe he was thinking just about something other than basketball.
Well, speaking of thinking, back home, guys, we call that a good old-fashioned brain freeze.
And the Timberwolves making a change here. Moutier is checked in.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
And here we go. Lawson heading to the hoop. Trips down the breakaway slam.
Ooh, quick hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slam.
Great sequence for them defensively and Clark offensively.
Well, one usually leads to the other, Kevin. That's just good, aggressive, attacking basketball at both ends.
Moutier with the basket.
Most any NBA player can make you pay when you leave them that wide open. That's why you have to stay alert on defense.
Lawson drives in. Here's Freak. That is in there. Lawson with the assist. 17 points for Freak.
And that's sort of been the story here today, hasn't it?
Timeout.
Timberwolves timeout.
Minnesota calls timeout.
And the Executive of the Year award is an odd one. I mean, given yearly to the executive that was deemed to have had the best year with their roster, that is perhaps the hardest thing to evaluate.
Fourth quarter now. We're about a minute and a half in. And it's blocked. And they get it back. That's good. Here is Bryant. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Hey, Kev. Well, during that last break, I heard Flip Saunders addressing his team. Horford was the focus of the discussion, and he wants their offense to run through him. Coach has a lot of faith in him offensively and let his players know it, insisting that he be at the forefront of what they do at that end of the court from here on out. He also wants his players putting pressure on the defense with early offense, lots of shots, and an aggressive approach in general whenever they've got the ball. With the minutes ticking down and the deficit still a big one, those adjustments have to be a chance worth taking, Kevin.
Thank you, Doris. Here is Lawson after the basket by Minnesota. The pass to Carroll. And it's Bryant in the corner. There's a good screen. And Lawson, here we go. And Freak throws it down.
Clearly, he's one of the best there is in the business when it comes to making that lead pass.
For those just joining us, fourth quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. And the basket by Harris.
He had his head on the swivel and was able to pick out the pass and get the assist.
And last season, really a tale of two halves for the Wolves. When Ricky Rubio returned from injury, they just looked so much more in sync as a team.
Mirotic is checked in for Ryan Anderson. The Hawks leading by 18. Lawson kicks to Carroll. Now, here is Lawson, guarded closely. Just 5 on the clock. Can't get it to go. Minnesota's gone 4 of 8 tonight from three-point land, shooting 50% on the three ball here. Kobe with the steal. It's good. With that basket, he's now 5 for 9. Well, the Wolves improved just very slightly last year in terms of wins, Clark. The quality of play on the floor, though, was visible.
Yeah, and you know, the team's point differential was a lot better with Rubio in the lineup. They did have some big wins over quality teams, and Rubio's impact was certainly noticeable.
He kicks to Freak. 11 feet away. That's in, coming off an assist from Bryant. And that's 21 points for Freak.
No doubt about the consistency when it comes to scoring the basketball for him tonight. A real nice lift for their offense.
Moutier dishes to Neal. And Kobe Bryant gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him.
And in the past, the NBA had the All-Star break for just an extended weekend. Last year, they gave the players a full week off. It seemed to be received positively by everyone.
And it's blocked. Lawson kicks to Bryant. Back to Lawson. Abdul-Rahman, the pass to Bryant. And there's the defensive 3-second call. The All-Star break in 2015 was just a bit over a week. Those extra days, Clark, for most players, really rested some guys up.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it was a nice move. You play those 82 games, you need more than just a few days break during the middle part of the season. So I like that move a lot.
And so he hits the technical free throw.
You know, there was plenty to be happy about last year in Atlanta with the way the Hawks played. One sour note, though, was that the team was viewed as a potential buy for Seattle groups.
Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. Payne kicks to Ingles. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. 6 to shoot. No good from Caspi. Well, last season the Hawks not only had a great year on the floor as they were the top seed in the Eastern Conference, but they had a pretty good day at the bank too. They sold for a nice price. Looks like the team is going to stay in Atlanta where it belongs.
Yeah, and that's great news for Atlanta, and they were rewarded with a terrific season. A group, including Grant Hill, purchased the Hawks, and obviously will keep that group in Atlanta for many years to come. A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Well, you take a look at all of the stats, the team stats, that is, and that's one of the many areas that they've had the advantage. And as a result, they've got a big lead.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Hawks.
But, Steve, you know, you don't see this kind of a blowout often. But tonight, this is a quality win across the board to deliver out, Clark, this kind of punishment.
Well, you know what? I thought they did a nice job of playing against the game. They kept the pressure on and clearly were dominant in every area.
And for the year now, they'll be tallying their 16th win.
And with this win, it gives them a sweep of the season series, even though it's just a brief two-gamer.
I tell you what, Greg, no matter how brief it is, anytime you can get a season series sweep, you're happy.
And you have to look back at this and see the huge game it was for Freak. He was extremely efficient offensively, got good looks, and really knocked down big shots all game long.
Here's Payne after Dante Exum's bucket. Now Payne. Here's Thompson, and foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot two.
Clearly a foul.
Yeah, he took a shot there, earned those free throws.
First one falls for him. And so Thompson nails both of them. 27 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Now here's Exum. Out to the right wing. Bargnani dishes to Warren. Now here's Exum. Tight defense on him. They get it again. Outside Leonard. The shot by Thompson, and no one's around. Good.
I don't want to say they're trying to run up the score here, but they do keep adding to the lead.
Well, I know you don't want to say it, but I will, partner. I mean, they're trying to run the score up here. It's plain and simple. They're trying to throw salt all in that wound.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Ernie Johnson again, folks, alongside Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Time now to take a quick peek at our Jordan player of the game. He delivered quite a star performance. Not uncommon, as we've seen him have this sort of terrific night many times.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
Well, his ability to get into the paint and get to the rim was deadly. For a guy who's mainly a perimeter shooter, it was remarkable how many of his points came right at the bucket.
And that'll do it for tonight. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a good night, everybody.